Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of toy collectors?
Well, you do, probably.
Yeah, I'm pretty evil.
'Cause I'm being followed by a moon shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow, leaping and hopping on a moon shadow.
They've been turning comic books into movies for ages, right?
They have.
What was the first one? Who knows?
Probably the first Batman serials back in the 30s.
Yeah. But in the 90s, they made a movie that a lot of people don't really know about now.
The Shadow.
Wow, The Shadow.
Shadow.
I don't even think I've ever seen it.
You're missing out. It's not the greatest film in the world, but it's a lot of fun.
The shadow.
The movie itself didn't do that well.
It did not, unfortunately.
No, it bombed pretty bad, but they did make some toys for it.
They did indeed. Every good movie at that stage needed to have its own toy line,
Yeah.
and thankfully we did get the Shadows toy line from Kenner.
Okay, so this is from Kenner,
Yep.
From that era, from the 90s?
From that area.
Wow.
This is the lightning draw version of the Shadow. They
Okay,
did do
so there's a
multiple
few different versions, yeah.
It was very much that sort of Batman theme approach to it, where they had multiple different versions of the same character in a number of different garbs, which were supposed to do different things and all that lot, which had no basis in the source material whatsoever. But it was just a cool looking action figure. And even this one, unfortunately, doesn't actually replicate the costume that he wore in the movie itself, or in the previous comic books, or anything like that. But it's sort of close to in terms of the color scheme and the general idea of it.
He's got a couple of guns there as well.
He does.
Do they come out?
They do. He actually has a couple of little clips on the side that you can slot the guns into. Not quite as cool as the holsters that he actually has in the movie.
Yeah, right. It's a little bit clunky. They're not exactly holsters, they're just big handles on the side of his body.
They're clips that you just chuck it into.
That you
really.
push the gun into.
Yeah.
But he does hold the gun reasonably well. He's got the trigger fingers ready to go.
He does.
He holds
and-
two pistols, and he can only point them straight out.
Well, that's because his
Oh.
action feature, and this is the good old days of action features, was squeeze the legs and his guns come up.
Yeah,
So
that's a classic one.
that's why he's lightning draw Shadow, because he draws really quickly.
Okay.
To shoot down his bad guy enemies.
But that's not the only action feature he's got on him, right?
No, he's also got light piping inside his head. So there's a bit of clear plastic on
Yeah.
the top of his hat, goes through to his eye, so that if you get a light and shine it through, his eyes glow.
Uh-huh. So that saves you having an internal LED light or a battery or whatever
Yeah.
in the toy, which is always chunky back in those days. I mean, they didn't even have LEDs really back in the 90s, so it would have been a big battery pack on his back or something. So that's a
would've been
cheaper way
bad.
of doing that.
It achieves it really nicely as well. It's a cool feature, and for something like this, you know, it's fun.
Next time you get to be on top.
So he's got 5 points of articulation.
Yep.
He's made of a very hard plastic, not a lot of movement.
No.
That's kind of a 90s thing.
80s and 90s.
80s
a
and
lot
90s.
Of, you know, before we had the articulation revolution, a lot of the figures are from that time, which were heavily influenced by action features, did have that inability to be able to just stand nicely and
Yeah.
be posed into a cool pose. They were basically just in whatever the non-action feature pose was and the action feature pose.
And they were toys from the movie, had to get it out on time to,
Yeah.
to line up with the movie, so, you know, they had to cut a few corners, I think, a few costs probably, not making excuses for them, but that's probably what they did. But it's cool to have a toy of the Shadow from that movie. Yeah, don't really remember the movie too well.
Should I have to educate you?
So that's the lightning draw version of the Shadow by Kenner.
Canara.
Very cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you guys like them, let us know down below. Don't forget to thumbs up our video and subscribe to the channel. We're out of here for now.
Yes, but don't let your minds be clouded. We will be back with more cool toys.
Shadow, moon shadow.